The Chinese are very xenophobic. We all know this. We also know that the Chinese are heavily influenced by the white supremacist oligarchs. They're trying to shake off the yokes, but it ain't looking too hot. What they did was they got these people dependent on these companies for the manufacturing sector under the 80 Mortals. We also know who are actually trying to wrest power from the white supremacist oligarchs because, like I said before, Mao Zedong from 1926 until his death was propped up by the Yale Divinity School, the OSS, aka the CIA. Reuben Holden personally helped manage the Great Leap Forward, which led to the deaths of millions. They want to blame the Chinese, or excuse me, they want to blame communism for all these deaths. No, it was the white race. It was white supremacists. That's who was behind it, because they're the ones who groomed these goddamn people. They chased the Democrats from China to Taiwan. These are facts that I laid out and proved. They're documented. There's plenty of evidence to back this up, just like they did in Russia when they backed the Bolsheviks. A video that got banned when I released it right on the 100-year anniversary because I was telling the damn truth. There's State Department documents. Woodrow Wilson has his fingerprints all over it. Herbert Hoover has his fingerprints all over that. The Fords, the Rockefellers, they went over there under the guise of stopping cholera, and they came over there with the Red Cross and all that shit. So there's that. Now, we see what's going on. The Chinese don't like that the virus was equated as a Chinese virus because they started getting racist attacks from the white supremacists. Pedestrian white supremacists will go after whoever the television tells them to go after. Whoever's this guy on television, as long as it's a white person, especially a dog whistler like Trump who's a white supremacist, if that person tells them who to go after, they'll go after them. So they went after the Chinese. Chinese should spread disease, blah, blah, blah. So now that the white supremacists put a black face on the disease, even though white people are dying from this disease at massive rates, they're like 70% of the people dying from this shit. They're trying to paint this as some sort of super black disease and blacks are giving it to everybody when that's just not even true. Most of the people in China that died are Chinese by an astronomical margin. Now, so the Chinese response has been to beat the hell out of blacks, kick blacks out of their apartments. We all know Chinese overreact over all kinds of things. The CCP is a very fragile and ridiculous government. I never said they weren't. What I did say, though, is their manufacturing and infrastructure efforts did a lot more for Africa in 20 fucking years than the white supremacists has ever done, and that's a goddamn fact. Because I went over there and I've seen the streets, I've seen the power stations, I've seen it all. I've seen the pharmaceutical companies, seen the manufacturing plants with blacks in the plants, working the plants. I've seen the light rail efforts, I've seen it all. It's happening. It's going down. Are they doing fucked up shit? Of course they're doing fucked up shit. They're doing fucked up shit in India. That's why India hates them. But you know who else is over in Africa? The white supremacists. Has 29 secret bases and one public one. One public one in Djibouti, 29 secret bases. They're killing blacks. They're trying to destroy infrastructure. They're killing off activists, just like they do in the Congo. Same shit. All under the guise of stopping the terrorists. But as we know, when we find these terrorists, their money goes back to England, their money goes back to Saudi Arabia, their money goes to HBC, or HSBC, excuse me. This is where the money goes. The money goes to white supremacist oligarchs, basically, long story short. Because they're the ones, the weapons are traced back to England, the weapons are traced back to America via Turkey, via Saudi Arabia, via Qatar, Egypt, This is how it is. That's how it's Boko Haram and all these other Al Shish Kebab, all these clown ass groups. Let me tell you something, Jack and Daddies. There was a group in America who had the same numbers as Al Shish Kebab in the United States. All these guys did was have breakfast programs and give medical efforts to blacks. They would also practice their Second Amendment rights. So a well-armed militia can fight against tyranny. So if a cop was beating the hell out of a black for no damn reason, they pull up with their guns and be like, hey, cut it out. And the white supremacists shut their ass down with inferior weapons in a matter of months. If they wanted to, Jack and Daddies, ISIS would have been gone years ago. ISIS, Al-Qaeda would have been gone years ago. As a matter of fact, NATO, Italy, especially Italy and France, begged Gaddafi to get rid of Al-Qaeda because Al-Qaeda was sabotaging the oil rigs and messing up their flow of oil into the country, especially since they lost their contracts with Saddam thanks to the white supremacist oligarchs invading Iraq. All right? So Gaddafi rounded up damn near all them goddamn Al-Qaeda ISIS dudes and put their ass in one big ass prison, put them in check. Who freed them? The white supremacist oligarchs via NATO. And that's who took over the country with Qatar and Chris Stevens, who then took the guns from the armory and shipped them to Syria, gave them to ISIS and all them other groups, and let them go. Now they're playing musical chairs with the names, shuffling the deck. If they wanted ISIS out of Syria, they would have been gone. As soon as Russia started smashing on the various terrorist groups in Syria, they immediately got washed up. And as soon as Donald Trump cut off the funding to the terrorists, they got washed up. They were done. Because it was just a waste of money at that point, because Russia and Syria were smashing on them dudes. Iran was smashing on these guys. Their militias were smashing on these guys, getting the terrorists up out of them. So that's what was going down. Now, what does all this have to do with anything? It's quite simple. The white supremacist oligarchs are the biggest problem behind all this. Blacks never focus on what the whites are doing. They can focus on the Chinese and have the same vitriol and the same energy for the whites that they're having for the Chinese, because at the end of the day, they're enabling this shit, they're promoting this shit. It's the white media that was promoting this shit. Blacks are not the ones giving everybody COVID-19, it's the whites. The reason why many blacks have COVID-19 in New York and places like that is because they work the essential jobs. They work in the medical field by a large margin. They work the government jobs, like a lot of city jobs, by a large margin. They're driving the trains. They're driving the buses. So they're out here. So that's how they're getting it. And so they're trying to take that and go, all the Africans got COVID-19. Well, their numbers in China are infinitesimal compared to the number of Chinese that have the disease. So at the end of the day, the people that spread the fucking propaganda that led to the ass whippings by the Chinese, and you should have hatred for the Chinese for doing this shit, was spread by the whites. And blacks never want to give whites the smoke. They never want to give whites that smoke and energy. Blacks always use this as an excuse. Whenever some other group comes in and pops it off, Hispanics, whatever, blacks just forget all about the whites. They don't even say nothing about the whites in the first place anyway. As soon as you put the energy on the whites, hey, you guys are spreading this BS. Oh, you're spreading hate, Evil Oyo. Oh, you're spreading hate. Oh, you're spreading hate, man. That's inciting terrorism. Telling the truth about what whites do is inciting terrorism. Because then people are going to focus on us, and they might take some real action that should be taken decades ago. And we don't like that, Evil Oyo. So we got to fucking put lawsuits on you, but you don't know who I really am. And or try to ban you from countries, but you don't know who I am, so you can't stop me because my page is totally anonymous. And if you get rid of this page, I'll make another one, even though I know you got the little invisible bots or invisible subscriptions to my other pages. I got tons of pages, and I'll pull them out of my ass in a hot second, filled with all the same videos. So yeah, man. At the end of the day, the reality is This is another action by the white supremacist oligarchs. Putting the focus on blacks. And then acting like they don't know what's going on when it's happening. Just like in the Congo, when they talk about the Congo, they always ignore it, King Leopold. They always focus on that 5 million that were killed in the 90s. Who started that? The same damn government, the Belgian government. They started that shit. They started that shit. They brought in guys via Rwanda, and then he killed a bunch of people. Same thing with M23. That was about the resources and trying to stop child labor. That's what that was about. I don't want to hear it. At the end of the day, there's 29 bases in Africa trying to stop the Chinese who are building up infrastructure in Africa. Are they building it up because they're super friendly guys? Hell no. They're doing it for themselves. They're doing it for themselves. No fucking doubt about that. But it's giving them energy. It's giving them energy. That's what matters. That's what they need. They need that oil. They need that lithium. They need those resources to build the manufacturing sector. All right? So that's all that is. That's all it is to that. But they need that because when Europe goes in there and they say they're going to build projects, they stifle it. Because they have a policy of never letting blacks build up. The French literally have a policy stating that they don't let blacks build up. Like flat out. Everyone knows this. That's the whole reason why the United States government and the French are in Africa right now sabotaging, popping it off, arming terrorists. Every time the Nigerian military smashes Boko Haram, new dudes pop up. Why are they popping up? Because America and the Anti-Espionage Service, they prop them guys up and give them more weapons. The DGSE from France, they're always giving the goddamn terrorists in black and francophone nations weapons and popping shit off. The Bambara have beaten the living crap out of them goddamn ISIS boys. They've been beating them Arabs' ass. Arabs ain't never beat the Bambara. Ain't never beat no Mandan tribe, ever. Ever. Princess. They ain't never, boy. But as soon as I talk about people handling what they need to handle, the way the IDF handles them guys in your country, oh, it's hate speech. Oh, that's spreading hate. No, it's defending yourself, and it's taking the proper action to ensure your safety against a hostile enemy. That's what the fuck it is. Stop being pussies. Stop begging for reparations and shit. This is your fucking enemy. Act accordingly. Act the fucking accordingly because they're acting accordingly. For every 1,000 people, one black person is murdered by the cops every year. That's thousands of people every year murdered by the cops because they're your racial fucking enemy. This is a fact. I'm not making this shit up. You're sitting around here playing these fucking games. These people are your fucking enemy. They're trying to get the Chinese to kill those goddamn blacks in China. They tried to do the goddamn same thing to the city in India. What the fuck are you doing, man? You're sniffing these people's ass and it ain't got you anywhere. And as soon as I tell the goddamn truth, oh, it's hate speech. Well, motherfucker, bring it. Fucking nonsense. Bitch.